late, but please bear with us. We have the last session in the last talk in the morning session. We have with us Vidushi Maitri Gowswami ji, joining us from Gujarat, and she will be speaking on the topic Ṣaḍdarśanas, their role and limitations in the pursuit of Tattva Jnana in accordance with Anubhashya of Vallabhāchārya ji. Just a brief introduction. Thank you, Maitri ji, for making time for this session. And before I open the floor to you, just a brief introduction. Maitri ji is a practitioner of Pushti Bhakti Marg and a direct descendant of Mahaprabhu Sri Vallabhāchārya. She has pursued MA from Sampurnanand Vishwavidyalaya, Varanasi, with Vedanta as the main subject. She has been studying all the Sampradayic Shastras of Pushti Bhakti Marga sect from her father Sri Sharad Gowswami ji and her revered Guru Gowswami Sri Shyam Manohar ji for the last 14 years. She is currently working with her father at Sri Vallabhāchārya Vidyapeeth, established in Gujarat, for publishing, preserving and teaching the Vedic scriptures and granthas written by the Acharyas of Vallabha Sampradaya. She also teaches Vallabha Vedanta in a diploma course at University of Mumbai, Department of Philosophy. Thank you, Maitri ji. You can go ahead with the session.
Yeah, namaste. So, I am talking about the topic of Ṣaḍdarśanas with the perspective of Anubhashya as written by Mahaprabhu Sri Vallabhāchārya. I'm sharing the screen for the sake of PPT, and it has all the notes for the subject which I'm going to discuss. So, yeah, the topic starts with Ṣaḍdarśanas. The 6 darshanas have already been elaborated by the previous speakers, so I am not going to elaborate the topic as such, but I will be teaching the subject in the format of Vallabha Sampradaya. So let us start with Sankhya and Yoga. These two theories have been elaborating the tattvas, and the Sankhya philosophy has accepted Prakriti and Purush as the main tattva, and it is a dualistic theory. The Yoga theory goes with the same philosophical aspects as explained in the Sankhya Marga. And both these philosophies don't accept Ishwar as the Mool Karan, and that's the main point of conflict and difference between the Vedantic philosophies and Sankhya Yoga philosophies. But Sankhya Yoga have been explained in many other Puranas as well, other than the famous one, which are taught by Kapil and Patanjali. So, Sri Vallabhāchārya says that Sankhya and Yoga can be Swataha Moksha Marg for attaining Mukti by our own efforts. And as he says that from Bhagavat, the Kapil Muni, the son of Kardam and Devhuti, had explained the meaning of Sankhya. The Devhuti was given the Upadesh of Sankhya by Maharshi Kapil, and from there we have Seshwar Sankhya, the concept of Sankhya, which is accepting Ishwar, Brahman as the Mool Karan, and Prakriti and Purush as the products of Ishwar or Brahman. So, Sri Vallabhāchārya says that Seshwar Sankhya and Seshwar Yoga Marg can be beneficial for attaining Mukti, and they can be accepted under the major category of Vedantic philosophy. So, Prakriti and Purush will be coming out from the Brahman, and then the whole Prakriya of Utpatti can be accepted the way Sankhya Marg has been explaining, other than accepting the Vikrat Parinam. So, Nirishwar Sankhya and Seshwar Sankhya have been differentiated by Mahaprabhu Sri Vallabhāchārya, and he says that Sankhya can make you attain Mukti, and that Mukti will not be of a very good class, because Sri Vallabhāchārya says that Swarupastho yada jivaha kritartha sanigadyate. So, Swarupasthata is the format of Mukti which a person can attain through Sankhya and Yoga Marg, and Swarupasthiti will mean that the Jiva Chaitanya will remain in its original form, the way it was created by Brahman from the Chaitanya Ansh of Brahma. So Swarupa Sthiti Rupa Mukti is the format of Mukti which can be attained, but only if the Tattvic philosophy of Sankhya and Yoga will be Seshwara Sankhya and not Nirishwara Sankhya. The second difference Vallabhāchārya mentions is Vikrit Parinamvad as mentioned by Sankhya Marg, because Prakriti will be transformed into the other objects, other matters as Vikrit, and Vallabhāchārya says that I accept Avikrit Parinamvad. So Brahman doesn't become Vikrit, or that the transformation is not a Vikrit transformation, but it has to be a Vikrit transformation, just like we make ornaments out of the gold. So there he says that Ashtavinshati Vedastu Karane Tattva Vedatah Bhagavatvam Yatas Tesham Tasma Tattvani Tanitu. So he says that I accept the counting of 28 elements as explained by Sankhya Marg from Srimad Bhagavat, from the third skand of Srimad Bhagavat, but I am just accepting these counting of Tattva because Ishwar has been accepted as the Mool Karana Tattva of all these 28 elements. So Bhagavatva, the Brahmatva in the Tattva is the important aspect. Other than that, the counting can differ and still it can be okay. But as Kapilji has explained the counting of Tattva in 28 numbers, therefore Sri Vallabhāchārya has accepted the counting in the same way. In Brahma Sutra, Sri Vallabhāchārya has refuted the Nirishwara Sankhya Marg in these sutras by saying that Bhogyasya Bhoktra Patti Brahmano Nirvisheshasya Bhoktrahi Bhogyatvam Bhogyasya cha Bhoktratvam Apadyate Athuna Vibhagaiti. So Prakriti and Purush have been explained as Bhokta and Bhogya in a Nirishwara Sankhya philosophy, while Sri Vallabhāchārya says that they both are supposed to be the byproducts of Brahman. And therefore, Brahma is the ultimate element of Prakriti and Purush both, but it is just about the roles they play in the creation. That's why Purush will work as the Samashti of Chaitanya, while Prakriti will play the role of Samashti of Jad Padarth, and therefore all the Jad and Chetan Padarth will come out of Prakriti and Purush, but they are not supposed to be bifurcated as Bhokta and Bhogya. So Prakriti and Purush will be the byproducts of Brahman, and Brahman is supposed to be accepted as the Moola Karana Tattva. Etena yogaha pratyuktaha. So there he says that Prakriti Vyatiriktanam Mahadadinam Loke Vedecha Anupalabdehe. So other than Prakriti, Mahad, etc., the counting of elements which has been done by Nirishwara Sankhya is not available in Ved, and that's why Sri Vallabhāchārya is not accepting that type of elemental analysis which has been done by Nirishwara Sankhya. So as Yoga Marga is also accepting the same type of philosophical arrangement, that's why it has been refuted along with Sankhya on the basis of the Nirishwarata. But Sri Vallabhāchārya says that if it is Seshwara Sankhya and Yoga, then both these Marg will work for the sake of attaining Mukti. But the difference between both these methods will be Tyaga Vibhagena. So he says that the Sankhya Marg is for the sake of Tyag, renunciation, by attaining sannyas. So the procedure will be that first of all to attain the Tattva Gyan in the format of Seshwara Sankhya, then Vairagya, Tattva Gyan Janita Vairagya, then sannyas, and then Swarupa Sthiti Rupa Mukti. While in the Yoga Marg, he says that it will be Atyage, Yoga Margohi. So the method will be of Atyag. You don't need to attain renunciation, but by Manasa Tyagaha. So the format of Tyag will be Manasika Tyag and Manasika Vairagya. And by staying at home, by practicing the Ashtanga Yoga, a person can attain Swarupa Sthiti Rupa Mukti. So this is the format of Sankhya and Yoga, and in this Seshwar format, both these methods can be accepted for attaining Swarupa Sthiti Rupa Moksha. Now about Nyaya and Vaisheshik. So both these schools have been refuted very bluntly because they are known as Ardhanastic schools, and they don't accept Ishwar as the Upadan Karan of the universe, but it just has been accepted as the Nimitta Karan. And when it is not the Upadan Karan, then the role will completely be passive and Parmanu comes in the active role. So Sri Vallabhāchārya in these sutras is refuting the methods of Nyaya and Vaisheshik by saying that Idanim Parmanu Karanvado Nirakriyate Sanyog Janak Karmapi na Sambhavati Karanantara Bhavat. So here he says that when you are saying that one Parmanu will be sanyukt with other Parmanu, and in the procedure of Dvayanuk, Tranuk and Chaturnuk, the whole universe will come into existence, then in the Jad Parmanu, the Kriya of Sanyog is not possible. And for that, if you want to accept Brahman as the Nimitta Karan for attaching or for arranging the Sanyog of the Anu, then Sri Vallabhāchārya says that Karanantara Bhavat, you are not accepting the other Karan as the Mool Karan, and that's why when the Sanyog Kriya is not possible, at that time Parmanu cannot be accepted as the Upadan Karan of universe. And about the Arambhavad, as already explained by the previous speaker, that Avyav and by attaching the Avyav and Avyavi with each other, the whole object will come into existence. So there Sri Vallabhāchārya says that it is not possible because the Karan is also supposed to be Sat. So just not about the Karya, but the Karan Nash cannot be the reason behind Karyotpatti. So Satkaranatavad and Avirbhav Tirobhavad have been accepted by Sri Vallabhāchārya in opposition of Arambhavad and Parmanu Karanatavad. So there he says that abhav of any object is not possible at all because Brahman is being created in the form of universe by Ekoham Bahusyam Prajayaya, this Shruti Vachan. And that's why when Brahman is getting, taking the form of all the Nama, Rup and Karma of the universe. So if Brahman is Sat, then all the objects which are the form of Brahman are also supposed to be Sat. So as accepted by Nyaya school, Sri Vallabhāchārya is not accepting that an object can be destroyed, and Pradvansa Bhav or Prag Bhav of any object is possible. Even Anyonya Bhav and is also not possible. Atyanta Bhav is also not possible because even if the object is not visible in its Karya form, the object has to remain present in its Karanata. That's why Satkaranatavad refutes the theory of Abhav, and that's why all the objects are supposed to be Sat in their ultimate form, which is the Sat Gunadharma of Brahman itself. So if Brahman is splitting its Sat form into infinite Jad objects, and same about the creation of Jivatmas from the Chaitanya Gunadharma of Brahman, so both, if not even visible in their Karya form, have to be in the Karan form, and that's why Satkarantavad doesn't give any space to the theory of Abhav. But what is the use of Nyaya theory is about the Padarth Vichar. So the definitions which have been given about the Dravya, Gun, Samavaya, etc., the way Tattva have been defined by Nyaya school, those definitions have been accepted by Sri Vallabhāchārya in the format of Shuddhadvaita Vedanta. Now to go ahead with Mimamsa. So Mimamsa about Purvakand and Uttarakand both. So here I am splitting both into the two parts, which is Mimamsa and Vedanta. So for Mimamsa, we are going ahead with the concept of Purva Mimamsa, Purvakand only. So here Janmadhyasya Yatha Shastra Yonitvat, in the Bhashya of this sutra, Sri Vallabhāchārya says that Siddha and Sadhya, the two Kand of Ved, Purvakand and Uttarakand, are supposed to be titled as Siddhakand and Sadhyakand. So Purvakand and Uttarakand are two complementary Kand for each other, and the whole Ved Rashi is supposed to be accepted as the Namatmak form of Brahman. And that's why the Purva Mimamsa cannot be refuted, or it cannot be considered as Arthavad on the basis of Dhyanakand. So what is the use of Purvakand? So there Sri Vallabhāchārya says that Vishayaikya, it means Brahman itself is the Vishaya for both the Purvottar Mimamsa. Prayojanaikya, Prayojan is also the same for clarifying the contradiction we feel, the Madhyamadhikaris feel for understanding the Vedantic terminologies. Adhikaryaikya, Adhikari will also remain the same. And Sadhana Swarupyaikya, Sadhan can also remain same if the Gyan is attached with the karma. We will speak about, I'll speak about it in just 2-3 minutes. And Phalaikya, that Prapti of Brahman is supposed to be the ultimate goal of karma and Gyan both. So here Vallabhāchārya in the Bhashya says that Kriya Rupe Dharme Pravishto Dharmi Yajna Ekah Tatha Jnana Rupe Dharme Pravishto Dharmi Brahma Dvitiya. So the format of both these kand of Ved will be that Kriya Rupe Dharme Pravishto Dharmi Yajna. So Yajna is the Kriya in which the whole Purva Kand is sublimated. So there Sri Vallabhāchārya says that Brahma itself is taking the form of Yajna, and Jnana Rupe Dharme Pravishto Dharmi Brahma Dvitiya. So Brahman is, as explained in the Upanishads, will be understood from the second kand of Ved, which is the Jnana Kand. Yataha Kriya Jnanavan Harihi. So Hari, the Mula Tattva, Parabrahma, is supposed to be understood with both these aspects of Kriya Shakti and Gyan Shakti, which have been culminated in the form of Yajna and Gyeyaru. Kriyavan Kriyayam Pravishto Ataha Kriyaiva Pratiyate. So the Brahman has infused itself in the Kriya, and that's why Kriya is visible from the outer perspective. But if a person is Jnanavan, so his Kriya, the karma is being done with the Gyan, then he can identify the ultimate reality in the Kriya Rupa as a Yajna Rupa. Vastu tastu Kriyavan Yajno vai Vishnuhu iti Shrutehe. So from this Shruti, it concludes that Yajna Rupa is just not the physical Kriya, but it is supposed to be considered as the Brahmic form. In Tattu Samanvayat, in this sutra as well, Sri Vallabhāchārya says that the karma is supposed to be performed with Brahma Gyan. So if a person performs the karma with Brahma Gyan, then he can attain Mukti, he can attain Yajna Narayan as the result of his karma, the Nishkam karma. And in there, Sri Vallabhāchārya is quoting the shlok from Bhagavad Gita, Brahmarpanam Brahmahave, Brahmagnav Brahmana Hotam, Brahmaiva Tena Gantavyam, Brahma Karma Samadhina. So Brahma itself will be in the form of Yajna, and if the Karta of the particular Yajna Karma is a Brahma Gyani, then he will be able to identify all the Kriya as a Brahmic Kriya, and the Karta itself will also himself will also identify itself as the Ansha of Brahma. And that's why the whole karma, when that Nishkam karma will be in the format of Brahmic karma, then that sort of karma can make you attain Mukti, which will be attaining the Yajna Narayan as the result. And Brahma Gyan Rahit Nishkam karma will be providing the result of Chitta Shuddhi, and it will not be considered as the ultimate fruit of karma, but it can work as making the karta eligible for attaining Gyan. So it is not so that Chitta Shuddhi is the only phal of karma, but Vallabhāchārya has accepted this format in Brahmic karma. About the perspective of Jaimini Sutra, just for the sake of information, that Vallabhāchārya ji has written a bhashya on Mimamsa Sutra as well, and it in detail explains the meaning of karma mimamsa from the Vedantic perspective. But here, just for concluding the topic, that Vallabhāchārya says that whatever Jaimini has to say is supposed to be concluded from what Badarayan Vyas has to say. So the kartritva, the swatantra kartritva of Jeev cannot be accepted, and same is about the result. That karma itself cannot provide you the result which has been accepted in the Nastik school of Mimamsa. That karma will generate the result. The Devtas are also supposed to be mantratmak, and there is not supposed to be an independent existence of any Ishwariya Tattva. So for refuting that thing, Sri Vallabhāchārya says that karma are nitya because the karma is the form of Brahman, and the kartritva in Jeev is also the kartritva of Brahman because the Kriya Shakti of Brahma is working in the Jnanansha of Brahma, which is Jeev. So karma swatantriya, the concept of karma swatantriya is not accepted, and same is about the result of karma as well, that Adrashta will not generate the result, but Ishwar is the Sarva Karma Phala Datta. So there in Anubhashya Sri Vallabhāchārya says that karta jiva eva kutaha shastrarthavatvat ato nanyatosti iti sarva kartritvam ghatate. Kutah etat tat shrutehe tasyaiva kartritva karayitritva shravanat. So Brahman itself is the karta, Brahman itself is the karayita, but on prima facie, the ansh of Brahman is visible, but the kriya shakti of Brahman is working. That's why the Jiv karma swatantrya is not accepted as accepted by Nirishwar Mimamsa school. So Sri Vallabhāchārya is splitting the aspect of karma into two parts, Leela Hetuka karma and Vidyadhinya Hetuka karma. So Leela Hetuka karma means that even karma tyag is not essential for attaining mukti, but that same karma after attaining Brahma Gyan in the Siddha avastha, in the Siddha condition, can be performed without being attached to the karma being performed. So the concept of Leela Hetuka karma, which is performed by a Muktatma or the incarnations of Ishwar, is the format of karma, which is being explained in Lokavattu Leela Kaivalyam. So the universe is the Leela of Brahma, which is Aprayojanika, Anandajanika Kriya. So with the same relishment, with the same sort of relishing emotion, a Muktatma can also indulge itself in all the type of karma, but that type of karma will not be bandhanakari. So karma tyag is not essential for mukti, but along with Brahma Gyan, Leela Hetuka karma is possible, and the beings who are not in the Siddha avastha and are in the Sadhana avastha are supposed to perform Vidyadhinya Hetuka karma, but by keeping Brahmic perspective of karma into consideration. So for Muktatma, Sri Vallabhāchārya says that Yato Gyani Swayameva Yagyatmako Jataha Atha Eva Jara Maryagni Hotre Agnihi Tad Indanam Samidaditi Tad Adaya Ajyadayaha Tesham Anapeksha Uktaha Etena Yad Anyasya Yagyata Sampadakam Tasya Swakarya Sadhana Katham Yagyapeksha Bhavet Iti Bhava Suchyate. So he says that when Gyani is on the level of Siddha Gyan, at that time he himself considers himself as the yagya, the way it has been explained in Purusha Sukta. So the Pancha Yagya Karma, as explained in the Shruti, as the Brahmic Purush, the Yagya Purush is in the form of the Yagya. Same way, the Muktatma, by performing Brahmatmak Karma, by the karma with Brahma Gyan, can also attain that sort of condition, and that's why the karma being performed in that condition will not be bandhankari for him. So in this position, karma jnana tadatmya will work. The tadatmya term means Bheda Saishnu Abhedaha. So there, by concluding the topic of Mimamsa, Sri Vallabhāchārya says that Asandigdhopi Vedartha Sthuna Khananavat Krataha Mimamsa Nirnayaha Pragya Durbuddhestu Tatodvayam Jaiminihi Karma Tattvagyo, sorry for the typing error, Karma Tattvagyo Nirnayam Jagau Ubhayorhi Parigyane Sarva Vedartha Nirnaya. So he says that Jaimini is a Karma Tattvagya, and that's why about the Karma Mimamsa, I accept what Jaimini has to say. But Vyas concludes the topic of karma by explaining it in the Vedanta, in Uttar Mimamsa. So by clubbing the meaning explained by Jaimini and Vyas both, we can understand the whole aspect of Ved, the whole conclusion of Ved. So the last aspect, which is of Vedanta, Sri Vallabhāchārya is keeping Brahmavad as the synonym of Vedanta. So there he says that Sandeha Varakam Shastram Buddhi Doshat Tadudbhava. With this he is starting Anubhashya. Viruddha Shastra Sambhedat Angaischashya Nishchaya Tasmat Sutranusarena Kartavya Sarva Nirnayaha. So whatever Upanishads have to say is supposed to be concluded on the basis of Brahma Sutra. So from Athato Brahma Jigyasa, the first sutra of Brahma Sutra, he says that the whole meaning of Brahma Jigyasa is supposed to be understood by Avidarthena Brahmavad. So whatever Abheda Shakti of Ved says, Tatparivriti says, that is to be accepted as the meaning of Ved. Lakshana and Gauni are not supposed to be used for understanding the meaning of what Upanishad and Vedanta Sutras have to say. So there he is dividing the Shruti Tatparya Nirnaya into two styles, which is Swabuddhi Kalpit Tatparya Bad Shanka Mulak Shrutyartha Nirupan and Abadit Vachyartha Mulak Shruti Tatparya Nirupan. So Swabuddhi Kalpit will engage Lakshana and Gauni Shakti both, and Abadit Vachyartha Mulak Tatparya Vritti will use the Abheda Shabda Shakti. So by that he concludes that Brahman is supposed to be Upadan and Nimit, both Karan for the universal objects, and that's why the universe is supposed to be the outcome of Brahman from the Sat and Cheta Shakti of Brahma. And that's why Satkaryatavad, Satkaranatavad are accepted for Srishti, and as Avirbhav Tirobhavad is accepted, that's why the Upadan Karan and Nimitta Karan both will be Brahman itself. So now how does a person feels the Vedant or feels the Brahmavad, sorry. For that he is bifurcating the experiences into two parts, Sakhanda Brahmadvaita and Akhanda Brahmadvaita. So when we are in the sadhana avastha, at that time Sakhanda Brahmadvaita, in which there are three types of experiences, which is Idam hi Vishwam Bhagavan, Bhagavan and the universe are one and the same. Idam Vishwam Bhagavan Iva, this universe is like Bhagavan. It is like Bhagavan, but it is not Bhagavan. And Idam Vishwam Bhagavan Itaraha, this universe is different from Bhagavan. So on the basis of these three aspects, Sri Vallabhāchārya says that on the basis of Bahusyam Prajayeya, the relation between universe, Jivatma, the Jad Padarth, Jivatma and Brahman can be understood in these three formats. But the Uttam Paksha, Uttamadhikari will be having the experience of Idam hi Vishwam Bhagavan. And on the sadhana avastha, Akhanda Brahmadvait will be on the sadhya avastha, which is explained in the Vacharambano Vikaro Namadeya Mritiketeva Satyam. So there a person will be able to understand that Brahman itself is the ultimate reality and nothing other than Brahma. Everything other than Brahma is not supposed to be considered as Mayik or Mithya, but it is Satya. Just the perspective of considering those objects will change and Brahman will come into the prima facie. So there, by concluding the Prayojan of a Vedanta Vichar, Sri Vallabhāchārya says that Sadhya Siddho Bhaya Rupa Mahavakya. Ved is Sadhya Vidhayak Purvakand, Siddha Vidhayak Uttarkand, and Sri Hari is Mahavakyarth of Ved, and that's why the whole Veda Rashi is considered as Namatmak Swarup of Bhagavan Vishnu, Narayan, Krishna. And that's why the Purvakand and Uttarkand are not supposed to be bifurcated. They can be bifurcated on the basis of subject matter being discussed, on the basis of sadhan, on the basis of phal as well. Methodological difference can be accepted, but the subjective difference cannot be accepted. So Navyada Shrutehe, in this Sri Vallabhāchārya concludes by saying that what is the format of Vedanta Vichar in Shuddhadvaita Brahmavad, that Anitya Jananam, which is the Jad Padarth, they are Anitya, not in the aspect of Nyaya, but with the aspect of Tirobhav only. So Anitya Jananam, they are being created. Nitya Parichinne Samagamaha. So Jivatma are Parichinna but Nitya, so they have Samagam. And Nitya Parichinna Tanau Prakatyam Cha Iti Satrida. So when Brahman itself wants to incarnate, then the Brahmic incarnation will be Nitya and Aparichinna. And with that Tanau, with that body, it happens Prakatya. So Jad, Jeev, Antaryami and all the incarnations are supposed to be accepted in this category. And by concluding this, Sri Vallabhāchārya says that the whole Vedanta Vichar must culminate into Bhakti. Only then the Vedanta Vichar will make you attain Parabrahma Shri Krishna as the result of your devotion. So Jnana Bhakti, Jnani Bhakt will attain Shri Krishna as the phal. And if Jnana is not merged with Bhakti, then that pure Jnana will make you attain the result of Akshar Brahma as the ultimate Mukti. Now, as Sridharji said that we are supposed to conclude the topic in our mother tongue. So let me proceed with Gujarati. So, જે છ દર્શન છે એ છ દર્શનનો ઉપયોગ વલ્લભાચાર્યએ અણુભાષ્યમાં કઈ રીતે સમજાવ્યો છે એ વિષયને આપણે આજે સમજ્યા, જેમાં ન્યાય અને વૈશેષિક એ બંને અર્ધનાસ્તિક દર્શનો હોવાને કારણે વલ્લભાચાર્યએ એમની પદાર્થ વિચારની પ્રક્રિયાને સ્વીકારી છે, પરંતુ એમની તાત્વિક પ્રક્રિયાને નથી સ્વીકારી. સાંખ્ય અને યોગ માર્ગ જો શેશ્વર હોય તો સ્વીકાર્ય છે, નિરીશ્વર હોય તો સ્વીકાર્ય નથી. અને મીમાંસામાં બતાવેલી જે કર્મ મીમાંસા છે એ કર્મ મીમાંસાનો ઉપયોગ यदि मुक्ति प्राप्त करवा माटे ब्रह्मज्ञान सहित करवामां आवे तो ए उपयोगी छे, અને જે વેદાંત વિચાર છે એનો ઉપયોગ यदि ભક્તિ દ્વારા કરવામાં આવે તો એ ભક્તિ દ્વારા પરબ્રહ્મની પ્રાપ્તિ કરાવી શકે છે. Thank you very much for the opportunity and I appreciate this initiative a lot. Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you, Maitri ji, for a very insightful and very systematic presentation on the Vallabhāchārya's Anubhashyas and his views on the role and limitation of Ṣaḍdarśanas. Thank you very much.